Okay, so hello guys, welcome back to a new lecture. It's been no since the past 2 weeks. I'm not being able to post lectures on my channel while going through certain personal problems. So now onwards, I will be regularly posting lectures, and we were doing real analysis as far as ACAS. So in this lecture, we will be starting with the infinite series. Okay. So, see, infinite series, have a huge application in the field of mathematics. We often, approximate algebraic structures using the infinite series. For example, 1 minus x whole to the power minus 1 is expanded as this, okay, x squared and so on. So this is basically 1 over 1 minus x. So this algebraic structure is expanded to an infinite series. It helps you approximate values. We also have like this 1 plus x whole to the power minus 1, which is 1 minus x plus x square minus x cube and so on, right? Similarly, we have infinite polynomials of sine x, of cos x, of e to the power x. So infinite series is always involved in some way or the other in our mathematical field. So it's kind of very important. So let us understand what is an infinite series basically. This will be an introductory lecture. So we already know what is a sequence, right? So suppose say this is a sequence, a n is a sequence for all n belongs to the set of natural numbers. So we can write this sequence like this, right? A1, A2, A3, A4 till some an and then to infinity, let's say, because we have used for all n. Okay. Now what we do is that we form a new sequence using the partial sums of this sequence. Okay. For example, we take S1 as A1, we take S2 as A1 plus A2, we take S3 as A1 plus A2 plus A3, okay, and so on. Okay, we keep on doing this. So you have Sn as A1 plus A2 till An. Then you have Sn plus 1 in the following way. You have Sn plus 2 in the same manner, and so on it continues. So we form a sequence of these partial sums. So let's say for all n belongs to natural numbers, and the nth term of this sequence is summation n equals to 1 to n. Let's say k equals to 1 to n, a of k, a subscript k, right? This is the nth term of this sequence. Now if you kind of extend this sequence to infinity, that is limit n tends to infinity, let's say Sn, what does it look like? So it is k equals to 1 to infinity a k. This is what we call an infinite series. This is what we call an infinite series. So basically, a more general representation of infinite series is this sum a n equals to 1. This is a conventional method of representing infinite series. Is an infinite series is an infinite series of the sequence a n. Okay. Now, if in a very literary sense, sequence and series, these two terms, sequence and series, these two terms are kind of analogous, okay, but mathematically if we consider these two words, they are not similar, okay. The reason being key, you have a sequence, using the terms of the sequence you form a new sequence of partial sums. Nth term of that partial sums gives you a particular structure. If you tend that nth term to infinity, you get what we call an infinite series. Clear? Got it? Or further you can say it like this. Suppose you have a sequence, suppose you have an infinite sequence a1 a2 till an, and it continues till infinity. If you add all of these elements of this particular sequence, then what you get is an infinite series. Okay, clear? Acha. So this is basically what we mean by an infinite series. Clear? Now this sequence we formed, Sn, this sequence which we formed, so this is basically the sequence of the partial sums, and its infinite element is what we call an infinite series. That much is clear. So if this is a sequence, right? So this sequence may converge or diverge. So suppose n tends to infinity, Sn is equals to L. Okay, well L is finite, let's say. So this sequence converges, right? So what does this imply? So this implies that Sn converges to L, right? This basically means that the sum n equals to 1 to infinity an is equals to L. Okay, so the sequence of the partial sums, if converges to L, then we say that the sum of the infinite series is also is basically equals to L. Okay, and the series converges, and the series converges, and the series, that is the series converges. These are terminologies of the infinite series. And if the sequence of partial sums does not converge, then we say that this that the sequence is also diverging, as well as the series is also diverging. I hope you people have understood what I meant to say. Okay. So an example of this convergence and divergence of sequences or series is rather is the geometric series. Let's say the geometric series. Okay. So what does the geometric series looks like? So it is a plus ar plus ar square and so on. The nth term is given as ar to the power n minus 1, and it continues, let's say, right, to infinity. Now whether this will converge or diverge is what we need to see, right, is what we need to see. So how can we basically, kind of represent this as an infinite series? So we can represent this like this: n equals to 1 to infinity a r to the power n minus 1, right? This is what this infinite series basically can be represented as. Clear? Got it? Now see what happens. This, if finite, this sequence if finite, that is, if say a plus ar and so on till some nth term you have, then you can write it as a times r to the power n minus 1 over r minus 1. When is this possible? If r is greater than 1, right? If r is greater than 1. Clear? And if r is less than 1, what happens? If r is less than 1, then we write this as, if r is less than 1, then we write this as a 1 minus r to the power n over 1 minus r, right? Right. Okay. So now what we do is that what we basically need to find out is that when will this, the series will diverge and when it will converge. So let's see. Let's see. One second, guys. One second. One second. One second. One second. One second. Yeah. So yeah. So come on. So this is done, right? We can represent both. We can represent it as both of them. So let us not restrict the r greater than 1 at this moment. We can, write both of them. The minus will eventually cancel if we convert this. So let us consider this formula. Let us consider this formula. That is a times 1 minus r to the power n over 1 minus r. Now see one thing. So let limit n tends to infinity Sn, that is equals to limit n tends to infinity a times 1 minus r to the power n over 1 minus r, right? Right. Now see, this is pretty much obvious that if mod of r is less than 1, then limit n tends to infinity r to the power n equals to 0. So this becomes 0. So this basically gives us a over 1 minus r. That means that this Sn The sequence Sn is converging to A over 1 minus R when mod of R is less than 1. R cannot be equal to 1. R equals to 1 won't make it a geometric series. You can obviously see it from here only. R minus 1, if R equals to 1, the formula becomes undefined. Clear? Is it clear? So this much is clear, right? But if mod of R is greater than 1, if mod of R is greater than 1, then this equals to infinity, and it does not converge to this. It basically diverges. This Sn diverges. So that's why we say that that an infinite geometric series ar to the power n minus 1 is equals to a over 1 minus r when mod of r is less than 1, not following any other condition. Is that clear? Okay, so I guess you people are already understanding what an infinite series basically is. One more interesting infinite series is the telescoping series. Telescoping series are kind of available in the JEE main problems, JEE advanced problems also, ISI problems also. Sometimes you will be getting the telescoping series problems. It is pretty much found there. Telescoping series are what the series are infinitely long, but what happens is that they eventually cancel each other to become a very short series, to become a collection of very short number of terms. So one of the most most finest one of the finest examples of the telescoping series is this one. Let's say n equals to 1 to infinity 1 over n into n plus 1, right? Now why is this kind of a telescoping series I'm telling you? So how can you write this series basically? Carefully notice. You can write this series as n equals to 1 to infinity n plus 1 minus n over n into n plus 1, right? So this can be further written as n equals to 1 to infinity 1 over n minus 1 over n plus 1. Now expand this using the values of n. So 1 minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3 minus 1 by 4, and so on it continues till you get plus 1 by n minus 1 minus 1 by n. Okay, this is what you will be getting, right? Or you will be this is what you will be getting basically. Or you will get, no, you will get the nth term as n plus 1, right? Yeah, so you will have 1 plus n minus 1 over n plus 1. Yeah, the nth term gives you this. Yeah, I am using an example of this form. Right? You will get this. Now see, all these will cancel each other, and finally you will be left with this one. Now if if n tends to infinity, as we have applied this, so if Sn is equals to 1 minus 1 over n plus 1 and limit n tends to infinity Sn, so this tends to 0, so your answer is 1. So carefully notice that this series was an infinite series, but the terms cancel out to give you a short collection of elements. Okay, these sorts of series are basically called geometric series. Sorry, telescoping series. Is that clear? These sorts of series are called telescoping series. Okay, got it? Now let us kind of understand what are diverging series. Okay, let us see. Okay, so one of the examples of diverging series you already know, right? That is the geometric series with mod of r greater than 1, that you already know, right? There are many more examples of that sort. I'm giving you the examples, diverging series. Okay, so first example is the summation n equals to 1 to infinity a r to the power n minus 1 when mod of r is greater than 1. This is one of the examples. Then you have summation n equals to 1 to infinity n square. Then you have summation n equals to 1 to infinity 1 over n. These are all diverging series. Okay, these are all diverging series. These are harmonic series. This is an example of a harmonic series. Okay, why are they diverging? Why are they diverging? We will be able to understand the the actual proof of these later, but now I can give you an intuitive idea. See, this you already know why. So this can, see, this series can be done like this, right? 1 plus 4 plus 9 plus 16 and so on. So carefully notice that every n plus 1th term is greater than the nth term, right? Is greater than the nth term. Plus you are using the natural number, so natural numbers are not bounded above. That means that there is no upper bound to this particular series, as we are as we are adding these terms to infinity, and it's also monotonically increasing. So basically there is no fixed value will end, which will eventually give you a finite number, okay, a finite sum. That's why this basically is diverging. Okay, the proof of this we will be doing later. Proof of this we will be doing later. We will do it later. Okay. Achha, there is a very important test of the divergence, which is called the nth term test for divergence. This is a very fine test. Let's see. So it says that summation n equals to 1 to infinity an diverges if limit n tends to infinity an fails to exist or is different from 0, or is different from 0. That is, you have a series, you find that the limit of the nth term of the series itself, okay, that is an, is not 0, then the series will diverge. For example, limit n tends to infinity n plus 1 over n, this is equals to 1, which is not equals to 0. Therefore the series n equals to 1 to infinity n plus 1 over n is diverging. Okay, there are exceptions to this rule. For example, the the most beautiful example of at this level is the summation n equals to 1 to infinity 1 over n. Okay, this is diverging. This is diverging, though limit n tends to infinity 1 over n is 0. This limit of the nth term is 0, though it is diverging. There is one more example. There is one more example. Suppose you have the series like this: 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3, sorry, 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4, and so on. That is, you are having 1 over 2 to the power n summation this. Okay, this summation is appearing 2 to the power n times. Okay, this summation is appearing 2 to the power n times. Clear? So suppose you form a series of this sort, then here also you will find that the nth term tends to 0 as n tends to infinity, but still this is a diverging series. Still this is a diverging series. We will understand why this is a diverging series in the next lecture. Okay, this is kind of a very tricky portion. Okay, so I don't want to involve that particular thing in this lecture itself. Let this be a basic lecture and introductory lecture. So next topic and the final topic of today's lecture is combination of series. Combination of series. So this is a direct result of the properties of limit. You people will easily understand this if you people already know what are limits and what are their properties. So if, let's say, summation n equals to 1 to infinity an is equals to a, and summation n equals to 1 to infinity bn is equals to b, then first one is called the sum rule. The sum rule says that summation an plus bn, this, see, summation an is equivalent to writing summation n equals to 1 to infinity a. Okay, an plus bn is equals to summation an plus summation bn, which is equals to a plus b. So if you put a minus here, you get a minus here, you get a minus here. And second is the constant multiplied. Constant multiplied. That is summation k times an is equals to k times summation an is equals to k times a. Is that clear? So these are direct results from the properties of limits. Okay, because these summations are basically limits of the sequences of the partial sums. Right. Okay, so let this lecture at will this much, guys. In the next lecture, we will be starting from the concept of reindexing of infinite series, and then we will be moving on to the integral test for series of non-negative terms. We have a variety of tests for non-negative terms. Then we also will be seeing the if you have alternately positive negative terms, then what will happen, and so on. So meet you guys in the next lecture.